Chapter 22. The chaos begins to climax. Two countries, an ancient and medieval one, duked it out for years as war erupted to add to the chaos. The two-year dynasty of Horatian origin and the kingdom of the Temple Scotia, which was an elder kingdom, were at war with each other. Lacking in advanced technology, these two forces made up for it in skills and bravery. The Tudor dynasty wanted to expand their lands, and the Temple Scholastica was their main target. The Temple Scholastica were on the defensive for years, but still they managed to hold out. The results of this war would indeed determine the way of this age of chaos ends. The first invasion in this era of chaos was between the Toya's head advisor Shane, Wan Hong, who is a tough officer, and another officer named Ergo. Defending the outpost the Toya were invading was a man named James, who was a tactical man, Brian, who was very calculated and is also a giant. Shane stayed to oversee the battle as Juan and Ergo led the siege. Brian and his giants held the gate closed as the enemy was ramming it. James led the defenses of the walls. He pushed down ladders and killed any that got up to the walls. Shane ordered large towers to the walls, but stood much higher than James and his friends anticipated. Still, they held out until reinforcements arrived from their side. The Third Dynasty were stunned to see Seymour unit there. Seymour destroyed the towers before they got close. Shane's plan was a mess at this point, and so they ran away. Next, the Kim family, a powerful fighting family, but was headed by Lady Alcor Kim of the Toya dynasty, led a force to Shitao in Tou. Shitao was a serpent man, for he was half man, half serpent. To answer the call of battle, two big warriors stepped forward. They were Leslie and Iron Mike. Leslie was a big woman. She is also proud of her size and helps to crush her foes. Her and Iron Mike are married. Iron Mike is a big fellow with iron fists. He hits very hard, and he and his wife Leslie love each other very much. The two were being crushed by Leslie's might. Mike was using his fists to strike down his foes. However, Kim sent out Shitu to capture the big couple. Shitu then transformed into a giant serpent and coiled them both. As he was crushing them, a party was going on underground was being disturbed by the battle. It was Dixie, the fun-loving giant woman who loves to party, was having a good time. She then became annoyed and she couldn't hear music with all the fighting outside. She got on her steed and led her forces to war. Alok didn't expect reinforcements from the Temple Scholastica. She ordered Shitao to get them, but when he let the big couple go, they slammed on top of him, which hurt him. Seeing her biggest ally hurt, Lady Kim ordered an retreat, and the battle was won. Dixie from then on decided to join the Temple Scholastica army full time as she had fun in battle. In a far part of the Temple Scholastica countryside, Seymour was watching his post. With him was his dear friend Dottie Ziplon. Dottie is rough to all around her. she is very rugged as a woman. Her and Seymour are friends. Upset about the pushback, the Toyo dynasty was getting Jenny Zen, the royal guard of the imperial family, to go out to the fortress as she dawned alone to gain a victory. It was nighttime. She and a few troops snuck into the fort through a crack in the wall. At the same time, Seymour was leaving his post to watch over another one. After they were long gone, the Toyo began their attack, then fought hard against the unprepared enemy. The Ziplon was made aware of what was happening. Then Dottie and Jenny fought, and Jenny was much stronger than Dottie, so Temple Scholastic troops had to abandon their posts and flee with their lives. This was the first victory for the Toyo, and now they were motivated to go on further. Another place, Dottie was still on the run from the Toyo dynasty. She was being chased by the advisor Shin, One Horn, and Ego. As she fled, she passed a fashion show that was going on in a small town. The main attraction of the show was a woman named Fran. Fran is a diva who loves to dress up and always looks well in the latest style. She is also a monster on the fields of Koto. Fran hated Toyo for disrupting her show, and so she showed them no mercy and forced them back, crying home. After the beatdown, Fran went to tend to Dottie as she was tired. Then we learned that this small town was where Seymour went to watch the show. He then felt sorry for his friend, like that, and thanked Fran for helping her. Fran then put her diva career on hold to help in the war against the Toyo dynasty. Seeing all of these close calls, the Temple Kingdom. Seeing all these close calls, the Temple Kingdom made a new head castle in the middle of a local desert, away from local population, to keep the war just between the two armies. Guiding the construction efforts of this new castle was the Temple Scholastic hero Shen. Shen, the hero of the kingdom. His skills and bravery he displayed has led to the kingdom to many victories against its foes. Determined not to waste the kingdom's resources to the crown, Shen led a massive army to take the unfinished castle. Shen had to face all of the named generals of the Toyo dynasty. Shen rode his horse through the rain of enemy arrows. Before I go on, it is Shin, the strategist of the Toyo dynasty, that wanted to waste the kingdom's resources to the ground. I just want to make that clear. Now, next, he leaped. This is now Shen, the hero. Next, he leaped over the entire enemy army to get to Shin. Then, Shi Tao turned into a giant serpent and bit the horse, and it went down. Then Shen jumped off it and landed on Shi Tao's back and rode him instead. She tried to, but failed to get him off him as he moved all about, hitting his own allies. Then Jenny Sen told Shi Tao to turn back to normal. Then Shen knocked Shi Tao out before he could do this. Then he then charged at Shen, but he did a quick sidestep and knocked her face first into the dirt. Then faithful, Shin then ordered a retreat. In fact, the castle was now finished, and the royal Temple Scholastic family and their forces moved in. The Temple Scholastic noble Anderson praised Shen's skills. He then wished that his lackey Jason was half as strong as him. They all then laughed and went on to celebrate. Sometime later, Emperor Toyo and Empress Shiyu were furious, but they wasted all these years and resources on failed war. They were considering ending it and making peace with the kingdom. However, their most powerful fighter, Juan, who had only who was only 28 years of age, had just returned from a far mountain lands. He single-handedly destroyed a whole nation to add its territory to the Toyo dynasty. This was why he wasn't in the war at first. Juan asked Sven to hold out until he got a crack at the temple's cluster. Empress Shio advised against it, as he had only just returned from war. The emperor, however, had faith in his prize fighter, and he gave him control of his entire army. However, Juan declined the use of an army, as it would only slow him down. So Juan got his spear and rode towards the desert castle alone. The noble Anderson, along with his lackey Jason, were watched as they were watching over the castle, as the king and queen having departed from the capital as of yet. Anderson basked in the glory of being the lord of the mighty castle. However, he was going to need to be a defender of the castle, as Juan and his spear was at the gates. Jason recognized him as the most feared general of Kuya and cautioned his lord. Anderson paid him no mind, as the past victories of the Temple's Cluster had against the Third Dynasty had gone to his head. Anderson then sent 1,000 men to meet Juan and kill him. Juan felt insulted by the lack of respect from the enemy. In mere seconds, he made quick work of 1,000 men. Anderson turned his head for a second and missed the whole slaughter. Jason then ordered more men, including Leslie and Iron Mike and Brian, to advance. Seeing this, Juan was now pleased, and the real fight could begin. A giant and the Bay couple nearly lost their lives as they were badly beaten. The army was getting smaller and smaller by the second, and Juan was getting closer to the castle. Anderson, panicking, sent Jason to get Chen to aid them. So Jason speeded to Chen, who was escorting the king and queen to the castle as they were close. Jason then explained all that had happened, and Chen told Jason to attack the king and queen, and he rode to Juan. Juan felt a strong man heading his way, so he stopped with the small fries and met face to face with Chen. The two warriors only stood and looked at each other in the eyes, and their fearsome stares said it all. Without warning, the two of them clashed, which made an enormous shockwave and blew everyone away. The two warriors swung their spears at each other as they matched hit for hit. It seems that they were equal in strength and skill. Then before the fight could go on, the fatigue of the never-ending fighting had caught up to Juan, and he started to stumble. Seeing this, Chen backed off. He didn't want to fight such a great warrior in a weakened state. Anderson, who saw Chen do this, told him to finish him, as it was his chance. However, Chen told him to shut up and said he will do this with honor. Juan was impressed by Chen, sensed his honor, and decided to leave and give his opponent this one victory. With that, the Toyo dynasty left the Elder Kingdom alone, and the fighting was done. After the Toyo dynasty was abandoned, Toyo dynasty forces abandoned their invasion plans. The Temple Scholastica were the only power to beat the Eritreans' power on their own. Soon, Damien Jr. and Catherine made contact with King Christian and Queen Shirley. King Christian. He is the king of the Temple Kingdom, who believes in the one true God. They fight for and actually win against the Eritreans often. Queen Shirley. She is the humble queen of the kingdom, who fights by her king's side. The elders were going to make an alliance. If this alliance fell through, the elders would be a major force in the dimensions. In response to this, Ray, the elder Risi, messaged Shane to tell him. Shane then ordered all the Bildon allies to mobilize on the Elder Kingdom. Ray then jammed the communications of the elders to Junior, so they won't know what's happening. Shane then told Ray But once this is done, and the elders are done, then he could serve by his side publicly. Shane and Risi, Shane and the Risi, Stanley and the Zephyr, Hanfi and the Penta, Duval and the Bankeran, Arrow and the Albino, the Yor, Isin and the Neo Bilderan, Mizani Obilon and the Obilon clan, Adrian and the Selton, the Jedi and Stellar forces were all marching to encircle the main castle of the Temple Elders. The end of the Temple Elders seemed near. Jen vowed to fight until his spear broke, and even if his spear were broken, he would fight with all the pieces of it until his dying breath. Kachin was trying to gather energy to max her strength to shield the castle. Even if she could do this, she did not know how long she could hold against a massive army. Junior was preparing for the biggest fight yet. In his heart, Junior prayed to the Heavenly Father, and he thought of his natural father, Senior, who helped them against this. Now Damien Senior was traveling alone when he heard the Lord telling him about his son's plight. Then Damien stopped and focused to the location where all the enemies were gathering. Junior and the elders prepared to defend to the last man, and Shane was about to give the orders to charge. When Shane gave the order to attack, then just as they were charging, they all vanished. Everyone was stunned. There was not one enemy left in any direction. Fearing for his life, thinking that Damien Senior might be near, Ray and the Racy troops fled the area. Back in the universe, Shane asked his buddy Trey, what happened? Trey, what happened? And where were they? Trey said that they were back in the universe, in their home world. Furious, Shane lifted off his hands and said, "Damn you, Damien!" and slammed his hands hard on his desk. Eris, who joined the Oberon clan, was in the universe for the first time ever, and he marveled at the stars and planets he saw. Damien then sealed the dimensions, and the Neo Albino and Bilderon and the Risi, who resided in the dimensions, were sent back to their lands. He had used his power to defeat the entire Bilderon and their allies all by himself without never setting foot in the battlefield. His power, indeed, was growing more stronger than even he could realize. Damien then moved out towards his final stop before he could return to Yushu, as he had a bad feeling about the civic bankrupt country, as it was not something he could ignore any longer.